And what's up, platypus people? We're back for another one. Got my Ozzy cross on. This is a tribute to Platypus Productions. Proudly presents a tribute to Ozzy Osborne. Um, one of the greatest rock and rollers ever, man. It's crazy this guy lived as long as he did, But I'd seen Ozzy a bunch of times. I. Yeah, man. I tell you, Ozzy. Butchering it, man. This platypus site that I've been trying to do, it's about things I'm going through being disabled that I can share with you, anything that I've learned I could possibly help you with. But a lot of it is about just having fun. And so we're going to try to have some fun today and celebrate Ozzy and what he was for all of us and what he was for me and what he was for a lot of my friends. One of my friends right now is over across the other side of the world. And he had a chance to go to the final show with his brother, and but it would have been playing it really tight with his travel plans. He has a YouTube channel of his own. He's over there working on it right now, getting great footage. He has a travel channel, and so he's over there. So I told him, he texted me. He's like, "Dude, Ozzy's dead." I'm like, "What?" I heard first from a guy over in China, and it's kind of funny me and that Chinese connections. But anyway, so Ozzy, Black Sabbath stories. I remember a funny one was back shit 70s, I guess. Black Sabbath, they came over to the US to do a US tour. It's like their first tour they did. And one of the first shows they played was at Union Township High School in New Union, New Jersey, which was right around the corner from my grandfather lived and where I would go all the time as a young kid. So he was about maybe half a mile, if that, from the high school where the concert was. And I all I can remember is going over there like the next day with my parents. We go over there for Sunday afternoon dinner, and he's griping and moaning and groaning about the hippies at the Acid Rock concert last night at the high school and all the damage they did to his sod. Grandpa was very very proud of his sod lawn. It's a Jersey thing, I guess. And they had torn it up, parking their Camaros and their Olds 442s and their El Caminos and their vans, the blacked out windows. And but I remember growing up in the '70s and hearing early Black Sabbath, and it just always did it for me. The sound I really liked it, and years later, I did some traveling with my folks, and I came back to the U.S. And one of the first new to my ears, I had heard of. I knew that there was a band, Black Sabbath, the acid rock band, that played, but it was really the first time I'd ever heard of Sabbath. When I was living, where I was into more like Deep Purple, uh, Kiss, the Eagles, the Beatles, the Stones, Frank Zappa, huge Zappa fan. But one of the first bands I heard when I came back to the States was Ozzy. And, I'm just in high school, and it's like I'm a kid, freshman in high school. I've been living overseas for a bunch of years. So I'm all ready to go, man. I wanted to go see, he was playing in Madison Square Garden. I think it was the Blizzard of Oz tour, and I was too young I couldn't get tickets or drive myself, but it was just it was great. But I'd get to meet Ozzy one time. I forget which album it was, but it was back in 2001. I remember that because it was right after the 9/11 incident. And it was meet and greet Ozzy to get to meet him and shake his hand and get a picture taken with him. But you had to buy or prepay for his album like a month ahead of time. So you had to drive. It was in Woodbridge, New Jersey, I believe. And if you Jersey guys hear this, man, please, chime in the comment section because I'm trying to, a lot of you guys know me from back in the day, man. But I was a lot skinnier, and I had all my hair back then, and but I still had this base. I can't see it right there. Charvel. James Lomenzo, contact me if you still want to buy it. We were talking about it backstage one night in Charlotte. Anyway, so we go to this meet and greet in Woodbridge, and we wait in line. It's post 9/11, and Ozzy was late, but so it was in a parking lot at this record store, and it was a little strip mall, a Jersey strip mall. I mean, if you know, you know. And there's a record store in there. I do not remember the name of it. Real famous New Jersey record store. And there was a liquor store, of course, in the parking lot. But the funny thing was, it was post 9/11, so Secret Service were there because this is a big, big event. And with Ozzy, could have been a high profile target. We didn't know what was going on. Right after that, I think it was like somewhere in November because it was cold out. I remember having my leather jacket on. I was going to wear it tonight, but it's a little too hot in North Carolina. But anyway, so we're waiting in line.